Hey guys, so excited to be back. We are here for the Real Housewives of New York after show. Lots to discuss. We got to see the Berzerkshires tonight, the Christmas decorations. So exciting. Tune in.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
This is a funny version.
This is like a kid's version, freaking me out.
This is the Housewives version.
Okay. I have to just say, every time I see a Housewives episode where it's Christmas, but it's like this time of year, I get a little, it confuses me because I want to be excited for Christmas, but I know I have so many months ahead that I can't even try.
Yeah.
It's not even Christmas in July time.
It's not. At least that, you know, like you have that hump of like August and then September is Christmas, basically.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically.
I can't say it's Christmas till after Halloween. As soon as the Halloween decorations are down,
but you can get excited in September.
Sure.
You can
You
feel
can be excited about it in February if you want to be, Ashley.
Thanks.
What day is it?
What day is it exactly? Hi
God.
guys, I'm Ashley Daniels. I'm sorry I wasn't here last week, but I'm back and I'm so excited to be with all you guys. You can tweet me at Ashley Daniels, and to my right.
Hello. Hey guys, I'm Thomas Orlina. Follow me everywhere at Thomas Orlina.
And this is Lyndsey here. Hey guys, you guys can follow me at Lyndsey Wegner, LyndseyWegner.
And you guys can chat with me on all my social media platforms at Megan Stecher.
The bright lipstick tonight coming from the right side of the room. Thomas and I mean, between my nude lips all the time.
Yeah,
In fact, you
and
don't
I
wear
have
lipstick.
the nude on. Yeah.
I mean, really awesome, guys. It's quite the eye candy over here. Okay.
Yes.
For anybody that's just listening, you've got to come check out the YouTube video after because they are sporting some beautiful.
No, I was just doing for myself since I got the pink on.
Did I
No, you're
right?
good.
We're talking
No.
about
We're
lipstick
promoting
on the
the
teeth,
AfterBuzz
potentially.
lip kit.
Yes. Oh, maybe one day, right? Ooh. Okay, well, we've got lots to discuss today. I feel like tonight's episode was very long, but in a good way, because I felt like there was so much. So whenever I get, it's funny for me, like technically, what do they say? When you enjoy something, it seems to go by fast. For me, it always goes by fast when I don't love it as much, but when I do love it, it's longer. I guess it kind of feels like, I don't know. For me, it just felt like there was so much.
Do you know what's so funny? Right before you walked in the studio, Thomas goes, I feel like that went really fast and nothing happened.
Oh,
Did you not
really?
feel that way?
No.
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
I felt like there's so much happened tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
So much, but not drama.
Yeah, no drama. Just
know,
a
it's
lot of
just
storyline.
Yeah, a lot of storyline. I just felt like there was a lot. I mean, I don't know. Just the fact that two people. I mean, we'll get into it, but just the fact that two people had texted Bethenny, like one person texted Bethenny, one person texted Ramona about Tom is like enough for me for the whole episode. Like that's crazy.
I kind of feel like we're in like the last season again.
I think that's what
Yeah.
everyone's been complaining about, right? Like I go on our YouTube comments and like I'm ready to be like, hey, hi, blah, 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 and talk fun stuff. And everybody's like, this is such a recycle of last year. Blah, nothing's happening. And I'm like, well, I'm enjoying it.
I'm really enjoying it too.
I am too.
I loved it tonight. I actually loved last week's too. But there are, you know, it's funny. Today I was looking at Bethenny's Snapchat, and Bethenny was getting her manicure done at the Beverly Hills Hotel. And her manicurist, who I did reach out to, hopefully he'll come on the show. He was so funny. He was like, he was talking about Tinsley, and he was basically saying something about Tinsley, like, who cares? And I don't know the exact comment. He says it really funny. If you have Snapchat, go watch it. But it was funny because I was thinking the same thing to my, you know, lately you guys have heard, I thought, I don't really see much of Tinsley. I'm not really sure why she's here. But tonight, I loved seeing her mother because it kind of explains a lot about who she is. It just gives us more of a backstory to her. So it's like midway through the season, we're getting some history other than just like her getting yelled at by Sonja all the time.
Yeah, it would be nice to see Tinsley with some of the old people that she wants to reconnect with, or at some point we get to see the crew.
Old people? Oh, you mean
like
her old
her
friends?
past crew,
Oh, right.
outside of the
I
Housewives.
thought you meant like old people, like literally like go hang out with old people. I was
No,
like,
no,
that
no.
would be.
Do you guys think that at a certain point she's gonna tell Sonja off and stand up for herself, or do you think she's gotta wait till she moves out of the place?
I feel like she's gonna burst at some point.
I would have tonight.
Yeah, I would have too. I don't think she will because she seems like she comes. Her mother
Just
was very
polite and
Her mother
quiet.
was like, be appreciative, and it's interesting. Her mom was very like that was the first thing her mother said. If they're so close, like she said, they're best friends, then her mother would already be well aware as to everything that's been going on at Sonja's house. So the fact that she still says to be appreciative either is that her mother doesn't want to say on camera what she really thinks, or that she literally thinks even though Sonja's doing what she's doing to you, you need to be appreciative.
How would you guys feel if you were in Tinsley's position?
I would definitely be calling other people looking for somewhere else to stay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what Sonja's issue is, but she's being I'm seeing a new side of Sonja I haven't seen since she's been on the show, which is odd.
Yeah.
So I don't know what is annoying her about Tinsley that's bringing out this side. I don't like it. I never knew Sonja had this side to her.
Do you think it has anything to do with what she said tonight, which was like, you grew up with all the things that you needed. You grew up with maids and servants or whatever she said. She's like, you grew up with all that, so you can't take my one assistant. Do you think that she has any animosity toward her because she grew up with wealth?
I don't know. I don't think it's that. I think that she's comparing this coming off of living with LuAnn for a little while. And her and LuAnn are closer in age, have similar interests, were in the dating scene, you know, interested in similar to the same guys. But Tinsley's not, she's not there. That's not her jam, her mentality. It's not her lifestyle. It's like an older guy dating a really younger girl. Like when there's a 15-year difference, you're on different playing fields until you're in your 50s and 60s.
Wait,
when you're,
so what do you think again? Sorry, I
I
understand.
think that because of her relationship with LuAnn and LuAnn living together and her and LuAnn going out and looking for guys together and doing that.
I see.
She's not finding that in Tinsley because that's not what Tinsley's about.
But Tinsley would do. I feel like Tinsley would go out and look for
She
guys with
would,
her.
but do you feel like that was an excuse? Like she felt like she said to her mom, she's like, well, I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to like all of a sudden invite her to all these things and have her feel obligated to go because that's why she said she wasn't asking.
She seems very confused, but I do want to shout out somebody in our comment box that said that they feel like Sonja is a little intimidated by Tinsley, like replacing her in some way or sees a version of her with Tinsley. Do you guys feel that way?
Could be.
I think, yeah. I feel like a little.
A little bit, yeah.
I was looking for the link to retweet it, but I don't think I see it here for some reason. Oh, here it is. Okay.
didn't see
Just
it on mine
retweeted the
either.
link to anybody that wants to. Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Actually, I think it's a little bit of everything. Honestly, I think everything's just annoying her. But I do think because she is like blonde and fun and young and I think that she sees a lot of potential in Tinsley. Maybe that she could become the next
The new
big
Sonja?
housewife, the new Sonja. And we've seen that happen before, where people come in and they become the next version of that. I mean, we saw it with as early on as Melissa Gorga and Teresa Giudice. Like Teresa Giudice was the girl, and then Melissa comes in and she's like younger and has just as much money, if not more, and it's like this all of a sudden this competition. That's family.
Yeah.
So
I'm having a thought.
yes, go.
Okay. I'm having trouble getting the words out tonight, but I just had a thought. So she did mention tonight, like, she hasn't, like, made me coffee, which you would do if you're a guest of someone, and she doesn't, like, invite me out to dinner. Maybe it's that she was like, oh, I'd love to have Tinsley come on the show and stay at my house, and we'll be, like, the new fun blonde duo, and I'll have my own thing, because the girls really kept me out of the circle last year and kept, like, blaming everything on my drinking. So, like, now I'll have a new, like, party buddy, drinking buddy, and, like, Tinsley's the new young girl, so, like, I'll get the heat, like, the good, like, shine off of that. And Tinsley's kind of just not that girl, I think. It turns out she's not that raging party girl.
No.
So Sonja thinks, oh, she's keeping her distance, and
She's trying to damage Tinsley. I feel like Tinsley's not even trying to do anything bad, and I feel like Sonja just keeps nitpicking at the smallest things, like in the kitchen. I don't think I've ever seen Sonja that upset, and she really was upset. So I think there's a lot going on, like with the competition that she feels with Tinsley. She could deny it, but I feel like there is a little bit of a rivalry.
And we discussed that last week when the guy that Tinsley was hitting on, Sonja tried to hit on and wasn't interested in Sonja, was interested in Tinsley.
the 23-year-old.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard dish about him.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
This is such
He's
good
really
dish.
cute,
I
by the
heard
way.
this on another podcast. The guy, okay, this is how I heard about it. On the podcast Bitch Sesh, they were doing a live show. Someone stepped up to the mic with like I have information, I have news. So this woman's husband is a trainer. He works at a gym. And his client is a friend of that 23-year-old guy because they live in New York City. And she's like, so he's training his client. They're at the gym, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, my God, my friend was just on Real Housewives. He was the one kissing the new young girl. He's like, well, he has a girlfriend. He had this girlfriend while filming and still has the same girlfriend. And he never even warned her what he had done.
Oh my god.
Like, just waited for it to air.
anything to be on TV, we will do.
People are crazy.
I mean, he went bowling with her. He was like
took
holding
her on
her.
a
They were
date.
sharing food. Like what?
Not only was there like a club makeout, there was then a date film.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
terrible.
And she's still with him is the craziest part. The fact that she's still with him.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they were. It was kind of like
Okay.
right after the first episode had aired.
I wonder if he literally didn't tell her and hoped that she just never saw the episode.
Right. I mean,
Imagine.
it's
Why
like-
would they? Why would he be on the episode? Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
But
nothing.
it's like obviously like some girlfriend of hers would have seen it.
Yeah,
Right.
somebody would have had told
Right,
her.
exactly. Especially if they live in New York. I
Yeah.
feel like
Right.
in New York, it's just like in 2 seconds. Whoa, Megan. Whoa,
Dish.
whoa.
Yes.
How insane.
And I thought he,
That's
and I
so
was actually
insane.
thinking to myself
Chad,
when
that
I
was
watched
his name,
it.
right?
Chad.
Chad.
And I was thinking to myself, he seemed a little intimidated. It seemed like he was either scared or intimidated, but really he was probably just like, okay, what am I doing? Like, what would be the point of cheating on your girlfriend though? If he wanted to become famous, then whatever. Maybe like he wants the airtime, but what would be the point of doing this? He seemed like the type that was like going to school and kind of like business wise.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know the extent, like if he really, like how long the relationship
Maybe they were
was.
on a
Yeah.
break.
You know.
I mean, not that makes it okay. Ross
We
and
were on a break,
Rachel.
so I made up the
break.
housewife of New York.
Yeah, I know.
But I didn't mean anything. We were bowling. Didn't mean anything.
I just signed the contract.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. And but look at the bright side. Now I have her number. So if you love the show, I'll give you her number. You can try to make friends with the housewives. Maybe she'd say yeah to that. Who knows? If she's a diehard fan, I might let it go.
We've got people in the chat from Brooklyn, New York, Mar-Ann. We've got people from
Nice.
London, Josephine Jones.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thanks guys for watching and joining us in the
Awesome.
chat. Sorry,
Hi,
I'm gonna
guys.
try and keep up with it and
Thank you.
let you know if there's anything.
Lindsay's gonna do that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lindsay. Appreciate that. Okay, so did you guys watch Bethenny today on E? I know Megan
I did, yeah.
Interesting. She was talking about her relationship with Ramona as of today and how it's anybody else would not be talking to her right now, but she says, you know, she's civil with her, but she's like whatever ends up happening in these next episodes really shows Ramona's true colors, and it kind of this escalates to a point of no return. But they still are on speaking terms. Now, here's the thing. She also was asked if she'd still come back to the Housewives, and she was like, listen, I have a great relationship with Bravo. My new show is being produced with them. And if they needed me to come back for the show, of course I will. I'm not going to lie and sit here and be like some of the other Housewives. It's like, maybe I will. So I think it's all because at the end of the day, she knows that she's coming back to the Housewives.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no reason to stay friends with somebody that you know intentionally tried to slander
It's all for
you,
the
you know?
show.
I thought it was interesting. She said that Ramona's always texting her about stuff about Avery. Like,
Yeah.
this was so wonderful
Graduation
for
and
my
stuff.
daughter. And she's like, she keeps trying to pull the like, oh, and then when your daughter goes through it, it'll be wonderful too.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
It's
using the daughter card.
Not okay.
It's a little, I'm up here and you're down here.
Oh,
And you're-
but she brought that up too.
Great reference.
They did ask her. They said, if you were on Crazy Island again, who could you? If you could only pick between Jill Zarin and
where's
what's her name?
Kelly.
Kelly Bensimon, who would you choose?
Ooh.
She initially said Jill, but then she saw the reaction of the host, which was kind of like, what? And so she goes, well, actually, no, not Jill. She goes, Jill does not know. She's not adventurous, and she's not like. I feel like Kelly and I could just bond over doing something adventurous, and you know, we could get out there and do something, and it would distract us from fighting. But with Jill, she's just gonna want to get a bunch of like free guest bags or some gift bags.
She goes, I mean, getting a free
Whoa.
gift bag is not a skill for survival. And
Yeah.
I was like,
Ooh,
Shade.
shade.
Wow.
Zero F's. Okay, well, interesting. She's on the West Coast and she's making it known. So let's start off with Carole and Ramona. They're at Carole's house discussing LuAnn and Tom, and this is where we find out that, you know, she's got a lot of. Carole's got some dirt. Carole's got some dirt on Tom and LuAnn, mainly LuAnn, that she's kind of feeling like she wants to back out of this, maybe.
But you have dish about that girl
Yes,
too.
Barbara, right? So what? So Megan, what do you know about
Yeah.
this girl?
about Barbara. Okay,
Yeah.
so Barbara, let me pull out my shady notes.
Yes.
Okay, so from a combination of reading TMZ and Page 6, this is my info on
Awesome.
Barbara.
Love it.
So she owns her own company called Diva. It's like women specific tools. So I guess it's a little toolkit for your house if you're a woman, whatever. She used
Do
to
it
be a-
yourself. Is that
Yeah.
what it look? Yeah.
So
Do it yourself, VA.
she used to be a contractor, so I guess that's tools or might be her expertise.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say. Is this the girl that she's trying to sue her?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
This
she's
is awesome.
claiming. So she's claiming she didn't know that Carole was mic'd. According to TMZ, there's also a phone call later with Carole
Yep.
that was also filmed.
Ooh.
So she gets this text message Monday. So the show's gonna air Wednesday of last week. Monday before that, she gets this text message saying, I really don't want to see you. You watch the next episode that's on Wednesday and you tell me what you would do. Knowing what I know now, I would never have invited you to my wedding. So obviously that was LuAnn. So her lawyer sent a letter to Bravo saying they didn't have permission to use her likeness. But they told her they planned on using it. She filed an emergency court order, but the judge sided with Bravo. The judge says, I'd love to watch, I think he was just being a smartass. He said, I'd love to watch the shows about all the housewives across America, but I'm embarrassed to admit I've never seen any of them.
Oh my God, awesome.
Wow.
Woo! So Bravo got their way. I guess we're going to get a little more dish from Barbara in a later episode. How exciting.
So for all future reference for everybody that might be around a mic and
Hot
a
mic.
Bravo production crew.
What are you thinking?
You're not going to get, they're going to use your stuff if they want to use your stuff.
Especially if it's dramatic and adds to the story and makes somebody look bad.
You're talking to a lead cast member at a place that the entire cast is at and being filmed. How do you not know that you have a cast?
It
There's
makes
a huge
zero
camera in
sense
front of you,
how you
but-
can't know. There's actually no way you can't know.
Yeah.
And there's no way you can forget because there are camera crews everywhere. So the only thing I can think of, she drank too much. She regrets what she said.
Right. She'd have 2 or 3 cocktails. She's over in the corner and the camera wasn't on her and she completely forgot that,
Exactly.
Yeah.
what she was saying.
That there's still mics.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Oops.
Sorry, Barb.
Oops.
You took an L.
Okay, well, thanks, Megan. That's awesome. So Carole says that she heard from somebody that LuAnn is having a second thoughts. We know that somebody is. We know the backstory in that now. So then we see LuAnn and Tom on a walk together. Not much there except they're on a walk together, and she says he has great legs, and she loves that he lets her watch TV late at night, and they just get along so well. It's just always this like fake bliss that she creates when we're around the two of them.
And the creepy stuff he said to her, I was like, he is so like nervous on camera and corny AF. Like, ugh.
Why does she say his name so often? Do you guys notice that?
Can you keep a tally next week? We'll remind you.
I'll keep a tally next week
I don't
because
remember this.
she says his name. She's like, I'm not worried about Tom and I. Like, I'm not worried about us. But you would just, like, why does she always have to refer to him by Tom? Literally every single sentence she says has his name in it. When you're
I have to
telling
go
a
back and
story or
listen
when
now.
you're talking about someone, you don't say, I was talking to Brian and Brian said this. So Brian told me that Brian was going to talk to the dog and Brian, and, like, she says his name and
There's
it's
some psychological.
forced.
We need Dr. Fran here
It's
for some
forced.
psychological
It's
analysis
probably like
of
a
this.
branding thing. She wants to like brand Tom as like this main villain or whoever it is, just so people remember that that's who he is. I think.
Isn't it something that like girls do a lot when they're first dating somebody and they're like so infatuated and like, and Brian and me and Brian
That's
went out
true.
last night and then Brian called. Like, I feel like it's something like that.
I feel like girls do that when a lot of really annoying women do it when they get married. My
Yeah.
husband.
I
used to have a neighbor who did that. My husband bought me a Chanel. My husband. I know you're married. I see your ring. I know you're married. He's not. He's taken. I know.
like
Very
hate the word
intentional.
husband because of that. I'm like,
so you
call
know
him-
people that do that too?
Yes, and I'm like, just call him by his name. I don't care that you're married.
Yes.
And it's not a possessive thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My husband.
My husband.
My husband will be home soon. My husband. My husband.
It just makes me feel like you're like playing house.
I can't
Yeah.
do it.
When
I
people
can't.
say, I'm like, you're
Right.
very young, and you're like, my husband.
My husband.
Get over it.
Okay.
well, technically,
Not even
according
gonna say that.
Marianne just said, you guys know it's ironic. LuAnn is now the only one on the show who is an actual Real Housewife.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Interessante.
True.
Yes. So interesting that, speaking of interessante, I've got another interessante thing. Ramona says her friend Anne, that was a quoted, I quoted Anne.
And they had quotes around her name in the show.
Right, which
I
was
know.
awesome, actually. How did they know that in our captions? That was so cool. Ramona says that someone named Anne said Tom tried to stick his tongue down Anne's throat. And there was a lot of fondling. There was a lot of touching in the car together. And also said that he's so insecure and grasps for attention whenever he can. In that maybe they were LuAnn and Tom were having a fight this night that he tried to stick his tongue down someone's throat. I'm sorry. Here we go. Okay, so you
Before
get in
we
a fight
get
with
into
someone
it,
and you
though-
want to stick your tongue down someone's throat? Really? That's from 0 to 60. So that's what she has to look forward to They have an
I
argument.
think before
he
we
leaves.
get like into what happened, do we like see what Ramona is doing this season with all her receipts and just talking?
Yeah.
It gets a little draining. I mean, it makes for entertainment for all the viewers, but it's like, girl, like she's not.
She needs a hobby.
Yeah, she has. It's like one of those friends or enemies that you have that has nothing going on, but just to talk about things that are going in your life and not focusing on their life.
All of us
You
are
know?
so busy, like between everybody's
God.
endeavors that they're doing, we're all so busy. I can't even imagine having enough time to sit here and like
can.
coordinate
I wish I did.
who I could talk to that I could get a story from, calling Tom's friend to find out about what he's doing and what backstory he has and who might give her info.
I guess she's doing it for her job. I guess it's her job to get the storylines going, I guess. But I know a lot of the people that comment on our comment box are like, dude, Ramona is just like, that's all she's doing this season, is talking about Tom and Luann.
What are people saying in the chat? Are they saying anything specific?
I got nothing right now.
Okay.
We've got Annie Hall from Norway, though.
Annie
Hi.
Hall.
I'm just- Oh my
I love that
God.
your name's Annie Hall. That's awesome. La-di-da, la-di-da. If you've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. Woody Allen. Okay, so...
But yes, going on to
yeah.
like the whole Ramona thing, I don't know.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, she's stirring the pot with everybody this season, but I feel like last season, Dorinda was stirring the pot a little bit. So someone has to take the
She's holding the
pot
torch
stir.
this season.
Yeah, has to take the spoon. So Ramona took it. I mean, really, no one else is doing it. I mean, Carole did it. I was so surprised that Carole even said anything. I feel like Carol's would literally take that to the grave if you gave me multiple. Like if you told me, okay, Carole had information, do you think she would ever say it on the show? I would say absolutely not. So I was so shocked that she did that.
She
Were you
probably
guys
felt like she
surprised?
was going to be a little two-faced at the end if she didn't bring it up. And then maybe, like, the producers... I don't know. I felt like she knew that was going to come up, so it was best to come clean early and not have to deal with it at the end.
I never
She's
thought Bethenny
smart.
would say anything again, ever, no matter what she heard. So I'm really surprised that she actually does and did, which we'll see more next episode.
But Ramona is, I pointed out to you guys earlier, I got an email from my friend Andy Waldron from Winona State University. Hi, Andy. He sent me an email saying, look at what I saw here in this last episode. He screenshotted a picture of Ramona's phone. When she calls Dorinda, it says Dorinda and Richard Medley. So now Richard died 3 years ago. Why is he still 5 years ago? Why is Dorinda still in her phone as her and her ex-husband, who's no longer even with us?
Okay, so there's a couple of reasons I can think of. One being she has absolutely no idea how to change her contacts and edit them.
Yeah.
She adds contacts. She added Anne. She added her
Okay,
new
all
friends.
right. So then that's not it. Maybe it's that she feels like maybe she doesn't even think that it's weird. Maybe she hasn't even thought it through that much that it's like, I don't know,
Right.
if you call someone 1,000 times and you're texting them, that means even when she's getting texts from Dorinda, it says Dorinda and Richard.
I think you're right about both. I think she's so concerned about herself and so self-absorbed, she doesn't even care or notice that the contact is outdated. And I think she also doesn't know how to change it.
But it's Dorinda's cell phone. When someone has a cell phone, and I guarantee you Richard probably had his own cell phone. It was 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's
which
weird.
2012.
You know what?
be
Maybe
saved
Come
under
on
the same-
here.
But maybe their house line and
Yeah.
her cell phone's under the same
You know, you can save
contact.
multiple numbers
Yeah.
under the same
Yeah,
contact.
That's what it is.
I don't know.
It's a merge
Merged.
contact.
It's a merge contact. We got it. It's a merge contact.
Solved it.
Okay.
Also, oh my God, this quotes Anne is totally Missy from last episode. 100%.
Why do you think that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because Missy's the girl. Ramona trotted her out
Oh, yeah.
to like a bar night to be like. Tom,
blonde one, that's what I was
the
thinking.
One who,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
one
yeah.
who found out
Yeah.
Tom was dating LuAnn
Yeah.
because she walked
in on them
Yeah.
kissing.
Right.
Yes.
It's totally
There's
Missy.
just a group of like 3 girls that want to bring down LuAnn, and I just think it really is not the whole town of New York. It really, no one else cares. I just think it's Ramona and whatever friend she hangs out with, and she
Right.
knows that these girls can get airtime if they divulge some information.
I think we all just want to know if LuAnn is in an open marriage, in an open relationship.
We all want to know. We'll
Because
never know though.
if she is, then it would all make sense.
I think LuAnn would just be so much more refreshing if she would just own her stuff. It's like Bethenny blew the lid off of her little shenanigans last year. We all know that she like loves a good time and sleeps around, and like that's fine. So like own it, because don't all of a sudden as soon as Bethenny says that pretend you're like some virginal bride.
Yeah, she's
Get
kind of
outta
playing
here.
like two characters if she is hiding the fact that her relationship's open, because some of the things that the women are saying should be shocking to somebody who isn't in an open relationship, you know? And I just feel like that would make a lot more sense to everybody if she could just say they are and if they aren't. And nobody has asked her face to face, have they?
We're going to ask you all right now. When you go to our YouTube and you decide to comment on our, which we hope you do, please like, subscribe, and comment, and answer this question. Is LuAnn and Tom, is their relationship an open relationship? Yes or no? Let us know. And if you think it is, why doesn't she say that it is? I want to know. I think it has something to do with her children, because they're still young. I mean, they're not like, they're in their 20s or whatever, but they're young, and maybe it's just embarrassing for her to admit that because she wants her kids to go out and have a non-skewed version or view of what marriage is so that they don't go off and do the same thing. Maybe in her head she thinks that they'll do the same thing she's doing.
Yeah.
Well, people in the chat are saying that Ramona's pettiness overshadows Tom's actions.
It does. I have to agree.
Yeah, two wrongs don't make a right. But if there's any part of her that is doing this because she genuinely, really cares for LuAnn, then do it off the air.
Yep. The only genuineness I saw was at the end of this episode when we see the preview for next week between Bethenny and LuAnn.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Although Bethenny did it on camera too, but Bethenny literally was having a panic attack doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You felt it even for those few moments.
You knew that she didn't want to do it. All right. So then we have Dorinda's Berkshire's home and her Christmas home. We just love it. It's nothing
nice to
better
be
than her
back in
Christmas
there.
home. Yep, and we've noticed that certain things, you do not touch the Christmas lights at Dorinda's house, guys. Take note when you go next year, if you go there, do not touch her Christmas lights. So she's having everybody over in groups this time, although I don't think it worked out the way she wanted it to, because group 3 was supposed to be LuAnn solo, yet she showed up at the very moment that they were all discussing in the living room Tom being a potential cheater. So I feel like the fact that they did groups in general and LuAnn was the last one because she was coming back from a plane ride, I think that was all produced so that they could get all that out before LuAnn got there. Do you guys think that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So Ramona lies about, this is kind of funny. Ramona's like, I have Coco in the car, and she doesn't really have Coco in the car. Coco, her dog, who took a bunch of poops on the rug last year. Tinsley's mom, we meet her, very beautiful, very statuesque. You could tell she was gorgeous back, and you saw pictures of her. Beautiful, very classy, southern beauty. Kind of interesting. What did you guys think about when she said, "Come say hi to Dad"?
I was very taken aback by the mother. She reminded me of if she were a southern version of the mom on Arrested Development.
I've never seen it.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Just. I don't know, just very made up and very
She was camera ready.
Oh yes, I don't even know how to describe her as comparing her to this character I'm talking about.
Quirky.
She just was not. Oh God, I don't know. She was a whole piece of work.
I liked her.
I did too.
She was cool.
I knew she was totally a piece of work,
I did.
but I did like her because I felt like, Lyndsey, you tell us.
It was just I loved seeing the it's hard for me to watch the mother-daughter things.
Yeah, of course.
But it's really, when I get to see them, especially with someone who's a little bit older, Avery and Ramona, it's different. But with Tinsley and her mom, and Tinsley being in her 40s and still being single, I've had those conversations with my mom about you need to find someone and you need to have babies. And she got to the point where she's like, I don't care. Don't get married. Just have the baby. Just have a baby with someone. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not that old, Mom.
Awesome.
You don't need to worry about me just yet.
Oh my God,
I'm
awesome.
Okay. As I get older, I keep wondering. But anyway, I just really enjoyed seeing her. And she was quirky, and she was a little off-putting, but there was just something about her that seemed very warm. And I liked that there was a divorce, but she was taking the ashes with her, and she was taking him to Palm Beach because that's where he wanted to be, or wherever she was moving them to. And I don't know, I liked her.
Well, I just got an immediate thought of what her upbringing was, because I do know that from reading about her that she comes from a lot of money. So I just immediately pictured what her life was like, her mother's clothing every day.
Anytime you see a white outfit.
A white outfit with fringe and a brooch at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, I'm all in, girl. This is awesome.
Yes.
It was just different than what we were used to, I think.
Yeah, it's good that they brought her on too, because like what you said, we got to see her upbringing. We got to see how she was raised. She talked a little bit about some moments that she had. So it kind of, for viewers who aren't familiar with Tinsley, it kind of gives you that background of who she is. So it was nice to see her.
I'm in shock over the hugs after camp story. I think that's my issue.
Yeah.
So what was she trying to say?
So she was trying to say when they would get off the plane,
That
first
she was
of all,
chubby?
who has to take an airplane to camp? That is Frankel.
Oh my god, I didn't even pick up on that.
So she's like, when we get off the plane, like, if we were chubby, it'd be like, oh, hi. Like a sad little weak hug, like, oh, hi. But if they got off the plane from camp skinny, she'd be like, I missed you.
We're just demonstrating here.
Well, it's actually interesting you say that because last week, the last episode I watched, I obviously wasn't here, so I watched it like when I got home from work, so like 1 a.m, and my boyfriend was awake, so he saw it on my iPad, and he goes, she's beautiful. He's like, she's gorgeous. She's really pretty. And he was talking about Tinsley, and he's like, she seems like she's always very well put together, and like, you know, her hair was perfect and everything. And now I'm just thinking about why she got her hair done last week when Sonja was like, you got your hair done.
I was thinking that
It's
too.
noon. You got you couldn't buy us
makes
an equal, but
sense
you got your
now.
yeah. So she grew up with that, and it's interesting. Her mother's like, I've always been worried that you're going to be critical of me. So it seems like, I don't know.
Doesn't fall far from
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And they're
They
both
have a
always
cute
dressed.
relationship.
They do, yeah. I could just see them like, I don't know, going to Fifth Ave together and spending thousands of dollars at Chanel,
Yeah.
and then going to lunch at like the Four Seasons.
She was very Team Sonja, though.
She was. It could have
Yeah.
been for the cameras. I don't know.
People in the chat think that LuAnn's relationship is an open one.
Woo! I love how honest you
So.
guys are. So Tinsley shows up to the decorating party at Dorinda's, and Sonja starts giving her crap about being there late and going out with her mom. And then we'll get into Adam and Carole after, but I'm just going to stick to this whole thing because it's all kind of together. Dorinda's cake was ruined. It's now nice.
It nice.
I was so excited that they put her phrase on there, but she opened it up
What's
wrong.
the phrase, Megan?
I made it nice!
It nice. So Dorinda's cake was nice. Bethenny and Carole showed up, and they were kind of like, oh, we don't want to be here, but we're
What did you
here.
guys think of their outfits?
I don't know.
I was like, where did you
Is that
two
real
just-
fur?
I
Bethenny's,
was like,
yeah.
where did you just blow in from?
Well, Bethenny would never wear real fur because she did PETA. So
Yeah.
that's got to be
Yeah.
like obviously fake fur, but it was pretty.
It was weird.
I think the color was really pretty, the silver. It definitely looked like fake fur. She wouldn't do
Yeah.
that. But she got, it's funny, her boyfriend at the time, Dennis, sent her flowers to Bethenny because he doesn't know how to spell her name, clearly.
Why?
Or
Why
maybe
did
he
spell it
just-
wrong?
Or the
flower
floor-
shop.
The
he
flower
does
shop
that.
messes that up,
Maybe.
yeah.
Maybe. But she got flowers sent to her on Dorinda's birthday, which was interesting. He was just looking out for her, making sure she felt okay because she didn't like being there last time. Bethenny hopes that Ramona leaves her alone during this trip. Bethenny and Carole are then up in Bethenny and Carole's room discussing Tom again. Same source told Bethenny, the same source from last time, that Tom is cheating. And Bethenny doesn't want to tell LuAnn, so this time she thinks everyone needs to do it together.
I feel like
And
this
go
was-
through Dorinda.
I feel like this was major, and it's kind of was glossed over. It's like they just kept the story moving so
Yep.
much
Yep.
that it was
Yeah.
glossed right. And I was like, a full-blown affair? This isn't just him like getting drunk at the Regency and
He has a
trying to
girlfriend.
I
kiss
think the music
someone.
was off on that scene.
And I mean, she goes on to say later that he's financially supporting this woman. Like, oh my god,
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's way more of an open relationship at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This source, we thought last year that this source was the producers. Do we still think that?
I think Andy Cohen kind of struck that down. In
Yeah,
the
but do we
interview.
still? He's going to protect them.
Of course he is, and it's Bethenny.
True.
Yeah, exactly. Who he's also going to protect. But I get it. Could I understand that he said that, and maybe there is some truth to that. I'm just wondering if you guys. I mean, who is this source? That first of all, Bethenny is busy. She doesn't have friends that are like that. That's not her crowd of girls. So if whoever's saying this, it's a legit source.
Yeah.
Bethenny is not going to lie. You could tell by her tears and by her panic attack last time. She's not going to say this if like Joe Schmo told her on the street. This is a legit source. Mm-hmm. So who is this source that Bethenny believes so much so that she's willing to share it on national television 2 times now and risk a relationship ending? I don't know the answer to that.
I hope
but
she
I'll throw a
gives it
question
up
out.
at the reunion. Like, I hope she confirms, that, like, not the actual person, but like, oh, it's a female friend who
Yeah.
lives on the Upper East Side. You know what I mean? Like, whoever it is, I hope she
I
confirms.
hope so too.
A little bit of info on
Yeah.
that would be nice.
It would be amazing, actually. So then we have Bethenny. Let's see. Bethenny does it. Do we think Dorinda purposely had LuAnn? Oh yeah, I already asked that. We jumped ahead.
What
earlier,
about
so.
Carole and Adam's
Oh
parents
yeah,
shopping?
yeah. Interesting. She said all parents love her. She was going out shopping.
This
I didn't
is
think of
really
that.
random, but today I was watching a YouTube clip of Jeannie Mai on The Real, and she was talking about her relationship. She's having problems with her husband because he wants to have kids, and she doesn't. And at one point, they both didn't want to, and now he wants to. So it's kind of interesting with Carole's relationship that Adam wants to have kids, and Carole doesn't. or Carole
can't.
Right.
So I think that was really interesting today for me. I just
Yeah,
wanted to throw that out there.
I don't know how it's gonna go.
I mean, yeah, they seem like a great couple. They have their differences, which every couple does, but this is a major thing. I mean, that's
major.
He needs to kind of either make the decision. They need to make the decision, and if that's something that he really wants. I mean, I don't know if she'd be interested in adopting, but something tells me she's not she wants animals, not kids.
Baby, and baby.
I mean, in addition to them, like, not being able to even have kids, like, I was jarred, even though I feel like I'm super not judgy about relationships, I couldn't stop judging the fact that she looked just as old as his mom. Like, they went to high school together. You know what I mean? And I couldn't stop thinking, like, this feels so wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It was weird
no,
for
I
me.
understand that. It is kind of weird. I mean, obviously they embraced her, and she's very likable, and she's a very smart woman, but it's a very interesting situation.
It's hard.
What you're talking about, Megan, like just the fact that they're both the same age, like they must be glossing over a lot of things that they're not getting serious about. Like they're not obviously talking about, are you going to marry my son and stuff. It's just that they wouldn't have a good relationship.
Yeah, no.
So this is he's obviously introduced her more as like, this is my fling, my fun fling, like who I like hanging out with right now. But this is nothing serious because they couldn't be leading the parents on.
I mean, even if Adam thinks it's serious, probably in their minds, they're like, look, it's something our son's going through. It is a relationship. He will have many, or, or hopefully the next girl's the one, or whatever, you know. But they're like, this isn't his forever girl.
Right.
Yeah.
She's only got 3 good summers left by now.
Oh, my God. Oh, God. Okay, so then we see they're all making sex cookies that look like sex things.
Oh, Bethenny was putting a male part on her gingerbread man.
Well, they weren't all making sex cookies.
She John Bobbited her gingerbread.
Yeah, that's what you called it, right?
Tinsley said in a few months that she's moving out from Sonja's. This is why I don't get. Like I said before many times, she's got a lot of money. Go get an Airbnb right now. Why are you staying with Sonja? You don't need to.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's only for production.
It is.
But it's
Submit it.
It's so.
Stop complaining and admit it.
I don't know why she doesn't just call up a girlfriend and start saying there and be like, "Screw you, production. Come take me doing what I'm doing. Like, get me a new storyline."
She could probably save their friendship too, because it looks very toxic. And if I was in Tinsley's situation, I would have built up a lot of animosity towards somebody, especially this being on national television, and you're treating me like, I mean, I don't really feel like Tinsley wants to use her assistant. It's just small things, but like
Sonja's nitpicking
like, barking at her.
She said she's consistently talking shit about me behind my back, and I think that's what lit Sonja up when she got into like.
But Sonja is.
Yeah.
Any person she can talk to about Tinsley, she does.
She's obsessed,
and it's not positive, like you said, Thomas.
Positive, and then it goes really negative.
Bad. And Tinsley's not talking like that about Sonja. She's just saying things are a little bit difficult. But she's not getting into the details of it, where Sonja talks about certain things, and this, especially this assistant thing, like he can't even get her hats at the door.
Yeah.
Like she's being protective of her assistant, but he can't answer the door.
Yeah, it's hard because I get what Sonja's saying, like she's not doing certain things that Sonja wants her to do, like coffee, buy her like small things here and there, maybe not doing 50-50, but I just feel like the way that Sonja's treating her is just really like.
But then Sonja
terrible.
needs to make that clear and say, as my guest in my house, I prefer somebody to have coffee ready in the morning. Like, if people stay at my place, I don't have really any rules except do the dishes. That's it. Yeah. Whatever dishes you have, please do your dishes.
Don't talk to Connor.
But
that's apparently.
Jeez.
But she should have a set of rules or things that she appreciates or likes or wants then.
So let's go into that because we don't have a lot of time left. I want to talk to you guys about the Connor situation, the blow up that Thomas initially mentioned, being probably the biggest blow up we've ever seen of Sonja, and it was a very serious one. She was very angry. So what do we think sparked this? Because it can't be. She did explain. She said if the dog got out, there's all these reasons why she doesn't want anybody opening the door. Is it more like I had said earlier that like she's just a little bit resistant to having her even talk to Connor because she grew up like that and she should get her own assistant if she has an assistant? Like in her head, she thinks like there's some blurred line that she wants to make sure it's like very, very dark. Like, you cannot cross this line. This is my assistant. Very, very childlike. But
yeah, she's very
what's
my.
the reason?
Yeah,
What's the
I still
reason?
think that the person that wrote that comment, I kind of side with them in the sense that I do feel like Sonja is a little bit intimidated by Tinsley, the younger version. You know, they're both blondes, and I feel like there is a little bit of, this is my stuff, you can't have it, and I feel like that. I don't know.
You're right.
It's like my assistant, my everything, you can't do that.
But that's
and-
what you did when you have a little sister that's a couple years younger than you.
Same. That's how I treated
It's-
her. Like,
it-
not how I would treat
Totally.
a house guest.
Not and not when you're in your 50s and you're
Yeah.
treating so yeah.
I think it's a lot of like putting somebody on, like putting the next person that's going to take your slot. But I feel like Sonja should be a little bit more secure. She's been on the show forever.
Right.
She's been doing this forever. She has her thing going on. Tinsley's younger. They're not on the same boat. So I feel like Sonja should like take it down a little bit.
Yeah.
My opinion only.
Starting to realize Tinsley is not going anywhere because she's sparking too much with Sonja.
With Sonja.
She'll be back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we have Dorinda and Luann. Let's see.
This was the 100% trust conversation.
Yeah. So, do you guys agree? So she says, "Do you believe? Well, she said basically like that. She explained everything that was said earlier in the living room. That all the girls came to her. All the girls came to Dorinda and said, Tom's cheating. Tom's doing this. Tom's doing that. And I mean, no surprise. We all knew she was going to say it. But she said she believes him and trusts him 100%. So do we believe LuAnn that she trusts Tom and doesn't think this is even anything again? She even said she goes as far as she never even looks in his phone. And Dorinda's like, I go through John's phone. Like, when he's sleeping, I go through his phone. She's like, if LuAnn doesn't go through his phone, I think it's because she doesn't want to find something. She's afraid to find it.
100%.
What do you guys think?
100%.
Think
And
that-
I was really looking at her face for signs of lying.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like
But-
looking away or just all the telltale little mannerisms that might say
But
she's
she
lying.
was-
But she seemed very confident in her answer.
Except that she was fidgeting with the collar of her shirt the entire time.
Ooh, I didn't pick up
She
on
was
that.
pulling at that.
I think she was nervous Dorinda was about to lay a bomb on her the way Bethenny did last year.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a bomb, though. I mean, it's like weeks before the wedding.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Bethenny laid it on her a little differently. Dorinda was very afraid to do it. And she wasn't upfront about exact things that were said. She was like, they're here. The way
Do you
Dorinda
want to
put
know
it,
them?
She put it in a softer.
she put it in such a soft way. It was almost like hearsay. Like, these people said this may have happened. It's like, if she actually knew it was exactly said to whom it was exactly said to, she would still respond the way she did. But it would be a little more abrasive and less like, maybe.
I think LuAnn has her doubts about things, but I think for camera purposes, everything's 100%. Everything's going good, but, you know, I think she is really in love with being in love and having that perfect life, and she has it. She got it. She got married, and, you know, I think that the women, they were just trying to look out for her, but I don't think that LuAnn wanted to hear anything.
Well, Joseph Boza says he thinks the ladies are pissed that LuAnn is happy.
Right.
Well, they could be.
that too.
Maybe more
She
Ramona.
had a point.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
LuAnn had a point when she was like, she called them bitches, was such a forceful B. She was like,
Yeah, she
bitches.
she enunciated
She was
that.
like, they're trying to bring me down because they're not happy. And I'm like, she kind of has a point there. With like Bethenny and Ramona leading the charge on like, this is a bad guy. We got to get her out of this. It's kind of like, well, they're the two with the worst personal lives right now, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wish that, I think that if she actually said, we have an open relationship and I'm still super happy, that
Would
they
clear
would,
everything out.
there's nothing
Right.
left. Just say it. Keep everybody.
Right.
But she's not willing to admit that she can't find a man that just wants her. You know.
Oh, yeah.
That's
never
really
thought of
sad
that
though. But that's
before.
really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very sad. Of course.
And that's why she's going through with this wedding, even though she said she'd rather go through the divorce than admit that she could be wrong.
Yeah.
Let's
That's so
let's get some
stupid.
predictions, guys.
Oh, the lights.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Disco.
Okay.
I can't hear anything.
We-
Oh,
There it is.
Hey, I always take a little extra disco lights. You kidding me?
Yes.
I wish we could keep it on the whole time. All right.
I'm excited
Let's
to
start with you
see.
guys.
I'm excited to see what happens between how LuAnn takes the conversation with Bethenny. That's the thing I'm most looking forward to. I think Bethenny looked genuinely upset, and the tears were real. Where she thinks LuAnn's making a mistake. It doesn't change anything, but I like seeing that, and I hope that brings Bethenny and LuAnn closer together. That she maybe understands Bethenny a little bit more, and she's just trying to be helpful instead of the way that Ramona approaches the situation.
Agreed. Yes, I'm very much looking forward to the Bethenny LuAnn situation and wondering if either of them storm out of the house or if anything gets crazy next week, kind of a la last year's Berzerkshires trip.
I'm excited to see Bethenny and Ramona back on the couch,
Yes.
and I'm praying literally that Bethenny doesn't get up and she sits there and they hash it out as much as possible, and we'll see what happens next week. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm excited for all of it. All of it. Especially, I would like to see Tinsley just kind of go at Sonja. Like, and just say, like, bye, I have money. I'm getting the hell out of here. See ya. Sayonara. We're not going to get that, though, but I predict
Here's to hoping.
we'll get some argument between the two, and it will start with Tinsley just not taking it anymore. So anyway, where can we find you all? Starting with the Megan Stecher.
You guys can find me on all social media platforms at Megan Stecher. Check out my Snapchat and my Instagram stories for the next few hours. My trip to see Watch What Happens Live yesterday, the live taping, is on there. So you guys can see all the fun I had. It was a great time. And Andy looks much younger in person, I must say.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Lyndsey here. You guys can find me on all things social media as well at Lyndsey Wegner, LYNDSEYWEGNER, or my blog, lyndseyWegner.blogspot.com.
Hey guys, I'm Thomas Orlina. Follow me everywhere at Thomas Orlina, and check out my website, thomasorlina.com, to get to know me more.
Awesome. And you can find me on Twitter at Ashley Daniels and Instagram as Miss Ashley Daniels. And please let us know what you thought of tonight's episode, and feel free to let us know once again if you're just tuning in. We want to know, do you think LuAnn and Tom are in an open relationship? Let us know on YouTube. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.